An idea born out of Monday morning chats at the coffee machine. In this series, we chat to our guests about their going out experiences and how it shaped them.
Join us, Pippa
And Georgia,
team members at Skiddle who love going out and miss chatting about it. I'm Pippa.
And I'm Georgia, and our first guest is Mark Richards from DJ supergroup Solardo.
From his first night out in the Hacienda to taking his mum to park life and going out with Idris Elba in Vegas has been the perfect guest to kick off this series. Okay, so welcome to our Going Out podcast. Welcome, Mark, half of Solardo. Yeah. This podcast is basically just a chance for us to talk to you about your going out experiences and if you feel like that shaped who you are today. So I think we should start at the very beginning.
Yeah, definitely.
What were your first going out experiences? Like, where were you?
My first parties, I mean, club-wise or just, what parks did I hang around on?
It's pretty loose.
Well,
so I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, it's loose.
Like,
where did you grow up?
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
Around Fallowfield. And then went to uni in Sheffield.
Yeah.
Came back to live in Fallowfield.
Nice.
And then I was in Fallowfield up until about 4 years ago when I moved to Bramhall.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago moved to Wimbledon in Cheshire.
Nice.
Cool. So your first going out experiences were in Fallowfield, like Manchester based.
Yeah.
What's that like? House parties?
But the main parties though, the party-wise I used to go to. I remember the first ever parties I went to was in was a place called Bowlers, which is like a hardcore rave sort of place. Because I used to go to raves all the time. So when I was about 16, in fact, not 15, 16, I used to get, I used to have like bum fluff. I was one of those advanced kids who had more hair on the face than average.
But
it was all bum fluffy. Yeah, so what I did was I'd get a mascara and I'd like do the tips of it so it would go black. And it looked like proper facial hair. And then I'd be able to get in places. In fact, I blagged it once into the Hacienda. Got in there once.
Nice.
I think it was about 15 at the time. And in fact, that was probably one of the first places I went to. But then
that's a really cool place, by the way, to just be like, oh yeah, that was my first going out experience. Yeah. The Hacienda,
an institution.
I know, but I was there and I was just shitting myself because I'd heard all the stories about it being more dangerous and that, and me being a young kid with mascara drawn all over the place. I felt a bit vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I remember, I can't really remember much going in there. I just remember going in there, not being able to buy, or maybe bought like one drink between me and my mates.
Yeah.
Because obviously we were broke and it was expensive. And then but I used to go weekly, well not weekly, once a month. It's something called Life at Bowlers, which is in Trafford Park in Manchester.
Yeah. And
that was just a rave where it'd have like, I don't know, like thousands of people there. It's like 3,000 people sort of rave. We'd go along there with my mates, just stay there all night, glow sticks, long hair, no top, be 3 stripe, and just party all night.
Yeah. What were the type of people that you used to see?
People like Slipmatt, Dougal.
Yeah.
And then like Fabio, Groove Rider. But that there at the time was mainly like hardcore. But then in the other room 2, you'd have drum and bass, but you didn't have any really well-known DJs there, just like some locals who were quite big at the time. And then I moved on to other places like Hysteria, Hell at Skelter.
Yeah.
These are like proper old school rave sort of thing.
Yeah.
That just one sec. I'm just gonna have to go in the other room. My daughter's just turned up with.
That's all right.
Mrs. She's only 2, so she'll probably come running in here in a minute, screaming.
Oh, that's sick.
No.
So,
cool.
Would you say
they're more than likely going to come running? Yeah. So I remember going to Hysteria at Ilford Island once, and it was in fact what we went to originally. We were trying to go to Hell at Skelter, which was in Milton Keynes at the Sanctuary, which was like a massive rave at the time, like a huge rave. And we went down there, didn't have tickets. I was dressed up in my usual raving gear, so I had 3 stripe on, white gloves. A luminous waistcoat, waistcoat, and like longish hair. Well, I had an undercut at the time, so a middle party with an undercut.
Wow!
And then,
I want to see photos.
I do. Have you got any evidence?
Well, you can because yeah, no, I have. If you find Dance Nation on YouTube somewhere, there used to be like an old TV show which used to like go to all these different raves and just basically film them. And if you look carefully, you can see me in one of them where I'm like dancing up and down, sweating with like longer hair, no top on. And when I said I had no top on, it wasn't like, oh, look at me, I'm musty. I was like a skinny little rake sort of thing. It wasn't like wasn't the most pretty thing in the world.
You're one of those sweaty, clammy people that goes near you at the rave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bottles of water going up to
yeah.
Look at this, mate. But then, so we went there and it was sold out. So we looked on like the flyers which are outside seeing what raves were on, and there was one called Hysteria. So Hysteria was like a hardcore drum and bass jungle night.
Yeah.
So we went down there just thinking this is cool, because obviously we're into that sort of music, and that's what ideally we would go out to. But this was very, very different to Hell at Skiddle. So we turned up there. I dressed like this. It was a pretty rough place in Ilford, and everyone's all wearing like the Moschino and D&G, and I'm dressed like a workman 15-year-old out of mine. I got in there, and I think we all got robbed within 3 minutes, and then we got robbed on the way out, and then try getting robbed while we were outside, and then someone try robbing a car, whilst we're in the car on the way out.
Oh no!
So I only lasted there about 10 minutes, but it was cool though.
Yeah,
it was good. I got the potato pack afterwards and said I was there.
Yeah,
I didn't tell anyone got robbed. This is probably the first time.
Well, now you're telling the whole of the world. Yeah. That's exciting.
So do you feel like them like experiences like influence you to become like a DJ yourself?
Yeah, definitely, because I mean, apart from the bad experience with Hysteria, we'd go to, like I said, bowlers and life, and each time we'd come back and we'd just like be up doing like whiz all night long and just not being able to sleep, and my mates would have. Can we speak about what? Sorry. If we're trying to be like politically correct, say we stayed up on like an iron brew bowling.
Yeah.
So we'd go back to my mate's mum's house, and his mum would always let him have his decks on, so we just like mix in there, drum and bass all night long. But I couldn't really mix very well, but I gave it a go, and that's really where it started from.
Yeah. That's interesting to hear that you were so interested in drum and bass.
Yeah, massively. So yeah, that's where I started. So I started out making tunes and DJing drum and bass when I was 16. At that time, like I said then, and I'd put my own night on at Stockport Student Union Bar called Energize. And my DJ name at the time was Basse. DJ Basse. Bass with an E with a circle round. Ooh. And my mate was called Sniper. Ooh. So Basse and Sniper.
Wow.
We were legends.
Yeah.
And then so I did that, and then when I went to university, I started making tunes there with a mate who was into the same sort of things as I was, and we did use like really basic stuff to make tunes. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Music 2000, something really, really shit like that.
Yeah.
We ended up getting some tunes signed to like Kenny Ken's label, and we got some tunes signed to Kenny Ken's label. But when it went to the mastering process, the masterers heard how bad quality the tracks were, saying, "I can't even master these to make them sound good." And then that was the end of that dream. But then at that time in Sheffield, that's when I started making dubstep.
Yeah.
And dubstep was like, at the time wasn't really called dubstep, but it's just like, it was like garage, but like a darker version. And my friend at the time, who was a big producer DJ at the time, making that sort of music, called RSJ, I used to take my tunes to him and he'd try and teach me how to do them.
Yeah. And
he would say, "Oh, you're making good tunes here, but I can't really do much for you because this isn't my sort of field. I do this sort of music," which is turned out to be dubstep in the end.
Oh, cool.
And I would say, I'm not into that sort of music. I'm not into garage anyway, because it was all like, dead friendly, sing-alongs. That wasn't my sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, it doesn't have to be like that. There's this new form of it going around where people are making a lot darker." So that's when I started making dubstep. Well, I started making music, whatever it's called then. And that's when my DJ career started kicking off, because I signed some tunes. I got really big in that world. Then I signed into that sort of world of DJs and producers of dubstep underground at the time, and I signed my first album to Aphex Twin, and then from that moment on, that's when my DJ career sort of started.
And that was under Basse?
No, that was under Mark 1.
Oh, okay, Mark 1. And then when did
Basse finished at 18.
Oh, okay.
Basse was only a small period in my life. Basse was like 2 years when I realised it was a shit name and a better movie.
Yeah. Basse in the high vis.
I would love to hear some tunes by Basse.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Yeah, they're terrible. No, I didn't really make tunes then. I started making tunes under a new name, Covert Operations.
Whoa. Where did you come up with all the names?
Yeah.
Because me and my mate was two of us, and he was called Soza and I was called Covert Operations, and we had a collective called MI6, and that was real. We had a few releases. You might be able to, I don't know if you can find them. They're on vinyl. They may be on YouTube now, but they were shit and you don't need to find them.
Leave them. Yeah. Leave them alone. And then when did that transition into Solardo? Tell us more about that.
So, it took ages. So I did dubstep for, say, 10, 12 years. I did really well with it. Well, not really well, but well enough to live on. Moved around or played around DJing everywhere across the world, to be fair. but not like to the level of what we do now. It's just like, oh, I've got a booking in America. It's like the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then like you look forward to that one booking like once a year sort of thing. And you think, yeah, amazing. Tell everyone about it and everyone goes, yeah, whatever. And that just went on for quite a few years. And then 2008, I met Hank Shockley from Public Enemy at Miami Music Conference, and he was really into the music, so I started doing a bit of music with him. Came back, went out to New York, did some things with him, came back, and then ended up making sort of trap music, dubstep, up to about 2012. Then got with a girl, moved down to London, started making like shit music, a little more commercial sort of stuff, and then put that off, and then moved back to Manchester. Then I just did sound engineering from about 2015. And then about 2016, met up with James again. I knew him already from like raving days back in the Helter Skelter and Hysteria robbing days.
Yeah, nice.
And
was he robbed?
No, he wasn't. He wore the right clothes. He wasn't dressed up like
that. Oh, okay.
And then I know, yeah. Well, I got robbed. He wouldn't have told me. I was too cool for that. Yeah. And then we basically 2016 started making it. He came along, guys said, obviously shit, we need to start doing something cool because this engineering lark is fucking boring as fuck. And then he said, why don't you start making like this house music sort of stuff? And at the time I didn't really know too much about house music because I also just thought it was just repetitive and like boring sort of thing. So he said, why don't you just incorporate it with what you do, what you've done before and try and do your own sort of thing. So I did do that. I basically just listened to the elements of house and lights, tried to fuse them with what I'd specialised in, which is like bass lines and making things sound big. Went around loads of different studios, to old studios, because I like the old acid house sort of vibe, you know, how it sounded organic and analog. And so I went to different studios to work out how they did that. Then I went to other studios, worked out how people do their sort of stuff, and then tried fusing it together. And it was literally like hitting my head against a brick wall for about a year, or maybe not, maybe like 8 months, and I was just like, because I was pushing myself, thinking I need to make this as good as possible. It needs to be groundbreaking. It needs to like have an impact because this is the last time I'm going to go have another DJ name because I've had multiple shit ones. I can't do it again. So I just thought I have to make this work. So I just spent like 18 hours a day on tunes. Wow. And I was having like nothing. I had like I didn't have any income coming in, and I just thought I have to make this work. So I just went so deep on analysing it, making sure I knew that, you know, the way to make it work. And then I also looked at the ways of promoting it, which sort of consequently went hand in hand with going out to events. So I'd go out to loads of house events across the world, you know, just to get a feel for the music, get a full understanding of it.
What kind of events were those?
I went to like loads of house events in Manchester, obviously Warehouse Project, and then went to BPM Festival. I mean, just, you know, there's so many of them, I can't remember. We'd basically be going out every week, particularly in Manchester. So we'd go to like Gorilla a lot, see DJs play there. Warehouse Projects a lot, Albert Hall. Yeah. And then it came to a point when the music, I was convinced it was good enough, and I knew it was definitely way better than what I'd done before, and probably a lot better than a lot of other stuff out there at the time. So I thought, right now I can be annoyed about this. I'm going to get in people's faces and make sure they hear the music, because, you know, there's one thing making tunes, and then it's another thing getting your tunes to DJs. And then you can get them to DJs, but then the next thing is to get them to listen to it. So if you're going to be all up in the face and go, you need to listen to this, obviously off your head. You need to sweating out your mind, and then you're like trying to persuade them, it's their best thing ever. It needs to be really good, because if you do force them to listen to it, which I did on multiple occasions, and it's shit, you're ending your career there. And then luckily the music was good, and they liked it, and then it just got picked up straight away by loads of people, and it was just like a snowball effect. Because I mean, I never really say anything about my own music, say, oh, it's amazing, it's this and that, but at that point I thought I had to make sure I believe in it massively, to make sure that other people believe in it, to like buy into it, to listen to the demo. And also because I spent so much time on it, and basically my whole life was fully reliant on this music being good enough and getting signed of it, and end up being able to like make a living from it again. So I just went to all these events, made sure DJs got it. I'd send it via emails, I'd send it via Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram. So the same DJs would have got the same tune over every possible social media avenue there possibly was. and then also had interface giving it them. And then eventually they started listening to it. And when we did listen to it, people started playing it. When people played it, other DJs next to me said, "Oh, what's this tune?" They then asked me for the tunes. And then because I had 38 tunes like lined up all ready to go.
Yeah.
Then everyone just started coming asking for tunes, and then I just signed loads. Had every tune, I had like 2 tunes come out a month sort of thing, because there was so much backed up there. And I thought the best way to infiltrate this now was to basically just flood the market.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was good tunes, but I mean, I don't think they're as good as what they are now. But it was a case of just flood it, and then just people will know the name. And once they know your name, that's when you can really spend even more time to make sure you only do like 1 tune every 3-4 months, and make sure that tune is massive and it has the impact it needs to be like a Beatport #1 or Beatport top 10, to stream a lot. That's basically how we did it.
What
really.
was the first kind of, when a DJ played it and you were like, wow, this is cool?
Oh, there was loads of times. Like, it started off with, like Mark Jenkins was one of the first people, and gave it him. We went to watch him play at like some little club in like Frodsham or something like that. Do you know where Frodsham is?
No, I'm not going to lie, no.
No, no.
Where is it? Do you know where it is now?
Frodsham, I think, is between Manchester and Liverpool. So it's like in the middle of nowhere. But we just for the sake of seeing the tunes getting played in clubs and start seeing some reactions, that was that reason. But when it started, like the big moments was when we started seeing them get played at festivals. So I think Richie Ahmed and Jamie Jones played one of our first tunes called Acid Rocks at Creamfields. And then when we saw that happen, saw the crowd just go off, we thought, yeah, this is cool. We're getting in there. We weren't in at the moment, but we were getting there. So we were just basically at that point, once we had the ammunition loaded in the guns, so to speak, with all the DJs, we knew all we had to do was catch them, firing them. So when, I've never ever said that before, but it sounds really a good way of explaining it. Yeah. We had to catch them playing these tunes. So we basically just travelled around every rave you could possibly imagine, in the hope that they'd play the track. And then when they played the track, we'd record them on our phones, and then we'd stick them up on social media and just say, "Oh, shout out to Jamie Jones for playing this, our new track." And then we'd shamelessly just share that group. It's a Facebook. We'd put it on our Facebook, which at the time we had no one really following us. Get that video, then we'd share it into every house music group in the history of the world. Yeah. Shamelessly going, "Look at Jamie Jones playing our tunes." And at the time it was different because no other DJ at all anywhere would film another DJ and say, "Look at this guy playing it, it's amazing. Oh, big up for him." But now obviously everyone does that sort of thing. But at the time, no one did. And also what was good at the time is because the algorithms of Facebook at that time meant that if you posted something, it actually went to your audience. There wasn't any of this having to pay for algorithms, and also sponsor posts, because sponsor posts at that point didn't exist. So if we were posting it into a group with 22,000 people, 22,000 people were likely to see that post. Which made our world like a hell of a lot easier. So we were getting these videos, flooding these groups, these house music groups with our tunes. And because we went out to so many events to film them, we were putting these in every week. I remember one time we went with Steve Lawler to the Albert Hall. He played like 11 of our tunes in one set. He only played like 20. We only usually play about 20 in a set. So that gave us ammunition for a while. So we would be posting one of them every other day. And when you've got that sort of way of like promoting stuff, whereby you're not held back by algorithms, you're not held back by sponsor posts or boosting stuff. If you're filling it up with your tunes, which are quite good enough as it is, getting played by big DJs, it's only going to mean that one thing, the tune's going to do well, and you're going to generate more interest. And then on the back of the interest getting generated from us going out all the time, filming these DJs playing it. And I mean, we'd be going out everywhere. We'd go anywhere it took to get that video. So if we knew they were going to play a tune, or even if we know that they downloaded tracks from SoundCloud, because you could see who's downloaded them, you'd think, well, there's a good chance if you've downloaded them, it's likely. We'd like to think it's likely if you're going to play them here today at this party. So we'd go down to the party. But I mean,
so you must have been out every day.
Yeah, all the time. I remember one time we seen that Jamie Jones had downloaded something on a Tuesday or a Wednesday before Paradise in Ibiza. So we thought, we have to go out there.
It's a nice excuse just to go anywhere. Let's
go. We went there, got a last minute flight, jumped out there. I think this is the big one. This is the video we need. I didn't even play it. So it wasn't even like, I know it's great.
Suppose it's not as bad as like going to Frodsham.
Yeah.
On a whim and them not playing. At least you're at Paradise.
Yeah.
Well, we had no money at the time, so it was just a bit of a. I remember having to sleep in the airport and all sorts of stuff.
Going for the night, getting a flight there in the evening and leaving the first flight in the morning vibes.
Exactly what happened. Yeah, exactly.
How did you find, like, when did you start playing in Ibiza, and what's your experience of doing that kind of side of things?
I think we started about 4 years ago, and the first place we played was, I think it might have been, where's that place? Eden. I think it was Eden. 4 years ago. It was like on a Tuesday or something. But this was before Defected were it wasn't very good. Yeah. At all. And
I hope no one from Eden's listening.
No, I'm not saying the club, I'm saying the event.
Oh, okay,
the club was amazing, but the event itself wasn't the best. But I mean, it was just like, we weren't anyone at the time. It was just a good buzz to get out to Ibiza. And then we maybe played again that season at Sankey's for Viva Warriors, because we had a release with Viva. And it's a case of, we were just saying, oh, please put us on. So it's a case of just going out there and playing for free. And just getting the idea of, to even just go out there, to be honest. I'd never been to Ibiza before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, before like 4 or 5 years. I can't remember what it is now. Maybe 5 years, I can't remember. But that was the first time we played. And then the following year, we had a couple of bits and bobs here and there. Oh, no, I can't remember. I think 2016 we got a residence. We played at High in the back room quite often. And then 2018, a residency. Yeah, then we had the full residency in 2018. 2019, we had the main residency in the main room from the back room.
Wow.
And then this year we moved to, well, we would have moved to Ushuaia, but
oh, wow.
But that's my Ibiza story.
I suppose you've grown so much every year.
Yeah.
Like it's not even been that long since 2016.
No.
And you've literally smashed it.
I think it's 2015. I think we played IB for the first time 2015. Played Paradise 2016 for the first time.
Yeah.
2017, that's when we started at High. Then our main residency 18. Then 19 was the big main residency in the main room.
Yeah. What day were you going to do at Ushuaia this year?
We were doing Wednesday, but we're doing it next year now. But I think it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think.
Nice.
Or it's Wednesday. No, it's a Tuesday, but it's a daytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah, I love Ushuaia. Oh, nice.
Oh, it's a shame you didn't get to do it this year, but obviously with everything else, what have you got lined up next year that was supposed to happen this year?
Everything. So like every festival we were on, it's just moved over to next year. So
you had your Croatia show as well, the one in Dubrovnik. Yeah,
that was wicked. That was really good. But unfortunately, that last minute, the week before it got, there was the quarantine rules came into place with, with traveling. So we had to pull the actual main show. Yeah. And then we just said, because we got loads of messages from people saying they were still going. So we just said, well, we'll put on a show anyway. We'll just scale it down a bit. And we'll play for whoever's there. Yeah. And 800 people turned up, so it's still pretty cool.
It was like there was an influx of festivals that were like, we're doing something in Croatia now. And there was like 4 or 5 of them, weren't there? And then they all obviously cancelled on the same time. But it's good that you still cater to those people who went, because like I feel like I know a few people who were still going.
You had flights and stuff.
It was the only place you could go that was fun after lockdown.
Definitely, yeah.
Ibiza was like a ghost town.
Oh, I went there once. It was terrible.
Was it weird to see?
Yeah, very. Yeah. But I think by the looks of things, next year's going to be okay. I'd like to touch wood.
Yeah. What do you think about the news about the vaccine?
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah. Really good.
Positive news at last.
Yeah.
I'd take it. A lot of people say they wouldn't take it, but I've taken far worse things, believe me.
Oh, yeah. Innit? Yeah, we were chatting about that. You can't be picky.
Yeah.
And you've also released your first ever sample pack. What was the reasoning behind that then? Was it to kind of support more people like yourself starting out?
No, not really. It's just because I had a lot of time on my hands and I thought I might as well just do this, to be fair. I just got offered to do it for CR2 and I thought, why not? Because usually, and I'll be brutally honest, a lot of people won't like me to say, but when you get artists who do sample packs, they usually I'd assume, not that I know for definite, get someone to make it for him and put the name to it.
Yeah.
But this time around, I thought I'm going to actually make a sample. I can, do it myself and do it properly. And then, people, if they buy it, they'll actually get sounds which I've actually made and I use. So it's a really true to what it's meant to be sort of sound pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of how long does that take for you to create something like that? Is that a lockdown task that you've done?
Yeah, I took it on thinking it'd take me a few days. It ended up taking about 2 months.
Whoa.
Oh gosh.
Because what happened was I was getting too intricate with it. So I was just thinking, I do something and think, oh, that sounds good. And then I go back to it thinking, oh, it's not good enough. And then I just thought I might as well. I've got nothing better to do. Might as well do this.
Perfectionist.
Might as well do it properly. Yeah,
it sounds like you are. It sounds like you were
definitely.
back in the day as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I just think if you're going to do it, and particularly if someone's going to spend money on something, you need to do it properly.
Yeah.
You only have one shot.
And you also want to be high up there with like the best out there. So the only way to get out there with the best people is to put as much work as you possibly can into something and make sure that you give it your all.
Yeah, definitely. And so what are you and James up to at the moment?
James is just living in Dubai, chilling out of
He looks like he's been doing a lot of fishing.
He was doing that to start with. He was just fishing for 3 months in Croatia.
Wow, but that was nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was hot then, but I don't think it's too hot now. And then now he's just in Dubai, and I'm just in the studio every day, like literally all day, every day, making tunes.
Yeah. Is that in your house? Is that?
Yeah, I've just had a studio built on my house.
So time in for the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good because our old studio was in the city centre, but since I moved out to a bit further out now, I just needed to build a studio in my house. Yeah. It's a good studio. It's not like in your bedroom sort of thing. I've had studios because my mum lives around the corner from me now, and she my first studio was in her garage. Yeah. So when people say, "Oh, your studio's in your house," I always think, "Oh, you might think it's in my garage like it used to be at Mum's," but it's not. It's a good studio.
You've upgraded.
I've upgraded a lot. Put a lot of effort in to make sure it's good.
Wow, I feel like, how does that make you feel knowing that you've gone from like your mum's garage studio to just tagging one onto your house casually?
Yeah, good.
Like, yeah. Do you? What's this year been like in terms of? I suppose everyone's had a lot of time to think about
like self-reflection.
Yeah, and have you done? You must be really proud of where you've come to. Like,
yeah definitely.
You look back on a really successful career in only the past few years, really.
Yeah, definitely. I do, like, particularly from moving to my new house, from where I came from, like, say 4 or 5 years ago, I was living in a flat in Fallowfield, and now I'm living in a nice house in a studio, which is really cool. But then I also, over this time now, it's just, like you said, reflecting, it makes you just think that to maintain that sort of world, you have to work. Yeah. You got to keep on working all the time, and just not give up. Particularly in times like this, it'd be very easy to bury your head in the sand and just think, it's the end of the world. But I mean, there is other ways to, keep yourself relevant and also make sure that you come back with, what I've thought to myself is when we come back, which will be by the looks of things, I'd like to think not too long from now, I want to make sure that I come back with everything we can possibly have to make sure that we make up for the time we've lost. So when you come see us at Pie, you're going to be hearing like the newest tunes you've never heard in your life, and I'd like to think like some of the best music I've ever made, sort of thing. So it's just going to be great to like play stuff again. It's a big crowd.
2021 sounds like it's going to be a big one, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds so good.
I'm going to come and see you in Croatia.
Yeah, definitely. But, like a lot of the tunes we've been making, they're like big stage tunes, so they'll go off massively
with all the all the CO2.
So do you make them with like the crowds in mind then, like tunes like that?
Yeah, definitely. I've done I've done other stuff over this period, but I've done a couple of collabs with Loco Dice. Done a couple with Calvin Harris's Love Regenerator.
Yeah. That's kind of like acid house vibes.
Yeah, massively.
School, yeah.
And both of the collabs are like really hard acid tunes sort of thing. With Local Dice as well, which is really, really cool as well. So
yeah.
But they're just so. I make tunes which sound. I try and make them sound big, whereby you need like a big sound system to really understand and really appreciate it. And that's why I just can't wait for festivals to come back, because when they do come back, these tunes are just gonna hopefully go off. Well, I'll say you, Michael.
I doubt there'll be like crickets and tumbleweeds.
Everyone just
it'll be good. So, like with Park Life being your local festival, do you reckon that's your favourite one, or what's like your favourite ones to play? Best crowds?
There's loads of good ones. Park Life's up there. Last year was incredible, or not last year, sorry, the year before, because we were on a stage and we were playing quite early because we were playing somewhere after. So I think we were on at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock maybe. And my mum and dad were coming, so I was just thinking, oh, please. No, I didn't think anything at first, but when I got there, I realised how early it was. I was thinking, people don't even usually get into later till 4 o'clock. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've been trying to explain to my mum that I'm a DJ doing well for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And I bring us to this party, and then I'm going to have like a few people in front of us. But the reason why it's so amazing is because we went on, or when we got there, it wasn't that busy. And then as we came on, about 15,000 people just turned up.
Wow.
And we thought, yes, thank God for this.
Oh,
and my mum was buzzing out of my car.
I know, do you get scared of that, of like people not turning up? Is that just like, or do you just like not think about it?
No,
people will obviously turn up.
You don't have to worry about it now.
No, that's true.
Yeah, no. I mean, sometimes you might, we played in like Korea, and places like Korea, you're thinking, is anyone going to turn up? And luckily they did. It's only a small club. It's only like 300 people sort of thing. And but you do get a bit nervous there because particularly when the club's small, and we don't really play that many small clubs anymore. But when we do, it might be somewhere like Korea, that sort of side of the world.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes really intense if you've only got a few people turn up and you're in a small club and everyone's stood in front of you like this. And you go,
I'm going to give them the best show of their lives.
Yeah.
I'm going to make
That's when you start downing shots quickly just to try and get in the zone as quick as possible.
Yeah. What's like your pre-show like ritual?
Well, usually sleeping.
Yeah.
But, this time around it's not going to be, because I've seen a lot of DJs say this, and everyone gets complacent with doing gigs, and you take them for granted. When you do so many of them, I definitely did, and I speak to a lot of other DJs who feel the same as if you're going from gigs to gigs to gig, you do so many of them, you get complacent. And you think, oh, I can't be asked. Because when we first started, it'd be a party every time. Let's get pissed before the gig. Yeah, we're going out. Saying to our lads, come on, we're all going, playing here. And everyone go, yeah. But when you're doing it 4 times a week, your mates go, fuck that, I'm saying no.
Yeah.
And then,
it's a job,
isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You get used to it.
But I think, next year, it'll be more like, let's do a little bit more stuff.
Make the most of it.
I remember we landed in I played New York the year before last, and last year, and I literally landed at 3 PM, and then I played at 10, and then I got the 1 o'clock flight back to England, and then I will definitely be making more out of those situations. When you're abroad, or say even when we were it was in Sydney, and we were so tired when we landed there because we'd flown from somewhere mad. I can't remember.
Yeah.
We didn't even go and see the Opera House. We didn't even go and see anything.
Yeah.
The first time around, the second time around, I did. But I think this time, when things go back to normal, I'm going to, take a lot less for granted. Because what, everyone who's watching this, everyone who is involved in this lockdown situation, it's hard work being in this situation, not doing anything, thinking what you're going to do for the rest of your life sort of thing. And that's why, as a DJ, you really, really, you're lucky to have what you have. And, you get complacent with it. And I think next year, there won't be any complacencies whatsoever. That's why what I'm doing now is just basically spending every possible spare bit of time I have to make the best music I possibly can. Yeah. To make sure that when we come back next year, the festivals, we are going to put on the best possible show you're going to see. I'll say this, probably 6 months down the line might be different, but that's the one enlightening facts I've seen from this lockdown situation.
You do get a bit when you think back about past, even just nights out, that you just take it for granted, it will always be there. So I do think everyone will be like that next year. Trying to get everyone out the club is going to be impossible. When the lights come on, everyone's going to be like, no,
don't want to go home.
Please no.
Yeah, it's unreal. Because it feels like when we look back at doing gigs and that, if you see a picture and stuff, you think, oh, I remember what it was like back then. Even when you watch TV and you watch old football matches and there's a crowd there, you look at it going, oh, I remember the good old days. And it's even got to the point now where, in people's minds, we're actually starting to think that was in the olden days and this is the new normal of life.
Yeah.
But luckily, we've that vaccine news coming out yesterday, sort of, I think, people's whole perceptions, particularly on taking vaccines as well. They've all just started thinking, actually, if we can get back to normality and go back to those good times of partying, going out, staying up all night, end up in people's kitchens and getting fully involved. I'll take a vaccine to get back there anyway.
Yeah. Get back to taking your top off at the rave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that high-vis vest out for one last time.
Yeah.
I need to the chins reopen for that.
Yeah. And like, if you, like, now you're a bit older, don't know what your age is, but I won't ask.
Yeah.
But
Right.
what is like your version of a night out now? Now, like, I suppose you're more recognisable these days. So what do you do? Like, what in the past few years, or did you go out with like, your DJ mates, or did you ever go and stand in a crowd anywhere?
What's a night out like for a DJ?
Yeah.
You know, I don't really go to that many clubs usually because I'm in clubs like 3-4 times a week. So it's obviously, I might as well just save it till then. But I go to the pub all the time with mates. Just go to the pub, watch football, get pissed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I go out for dinner a lot as well. Just, whenever I've got time at home. I mean, obviously at the moment I've got
too much time.
Yeah, but usually I don't have much time. So my usual week would be do gigs, come back, go out for dinner with my missus, and then I'd probably go out to the pubs with my mates on like a Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
Whenever they're allowed to, miss work the next day, or just at least be ill. You can't really go out on a Sunday, can you? So, because no one ever believes it when you don't turn up for work on a Monday. So if you do it on a Wednesday, it's sort of, I'm just ill randomly.
Yeah, just don't feel well today.
Yeah, it is a bit more believable, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you a big sport fan?
Yeah, just football really.
Yeah.
Just in fact, I like basketball as well. Not that I ever watch it, but if I'm in America, I'd definitely go to matches.
Yeah. Sit courtside.
Just because. Yeah, no.
With Beyonce and Kendall Jenner.
You get the cheapest possible seats, which are right at the top. But then if you drink at the bar, it's in the middle. You can just stand there and just watch and get pissed. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's a.
I always think there's loads of I don't think they call them goals, do they? But baskets. So there's always so many. So it's always the crowd noise.
If we're honest about it, it's extremely boring. But it's definitely good going to the matches. It's games. It's just you get pissed.
But suppose it's the same atmosphere, really. Like, it has the same highs as going out to a club event. Mm-hmm. When someone drops a sick tune or someone drops a basket.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I would go to club if it's off on a weekend, and I would definitely go to a club, definitely, just because I'm used to going to a club. So I would go out to. Usually, I'd probably go to Warehouse Project, depending on what's on.
Yeah.
Or just wherever I know someone DJing, really, I'd just go along to.
Get a guest
but I would, normally I would. I mean, I would say normally, but we don't really normally have weekends off. But if we did have like one weekend off, probably would go along and just get involved. Just because my body would be mentally used to going out to clubs and just abusing myself. So I feel wrong just sitting at home.
Yeah.
What's like your favourite UK city to go out if you could pick anywhere?
There's loads of good ones. Newcastle's always good. I like going to London as well. It's certain places we go to where we have loads of mates. So, say if we're playing it somewhere in London, we'll have loads of mates turn up at a hotel before, and we'll all just start getting into it beforehand. Yeah. Same Newcastle. Probably those, I'd say. Just the main cities. It depends what's going on. If there's a big rave going on somewhere, there's usually a buzz around the city in general. So it just it's good then.
Yeah. Do you remember the house party we did in Leeds?
I can't remember.
In that student house. In
There's
Headingley.
been so many student houses.
I know, I suppose
Is that the one?
This is the Christmas party too that we did in 2 years ago now. That was.
Yeah. That was quality, that.
Yeah.
That
And you
really
showed
good.
up and you were like, the police are already here. But it wasn't. It was just the whole supervisor or something.
Yeah. I don't know how they got away with that. But it's good though.
I know, yeah. Clark, shout out to Clark, whoever won the competition.
Yeah.
His name lives on in the Skiddle world. That was a great party though. Imagine having Solardo turn up at your house playing a set. They all loved it. They were all buzzing.
So what happened? They won a competition.
And then so we did a competition to win. a set with Solardo.
The Ultimate Christmas. It was called the Solardo Ultimate Christmas Party.
Yeah.
Oh,
We used to do it. So we did it for 2 years. We did it the year before that was in Newcastle, and then that year there.
Yeah.
Well, we would have done it this year, to be fair. We do it every year, to be fair. But
yeah, it was cool.
Obviously,
and then we
can't do
literally
that.
just turned this guy's kitchen into a like DJ booth.
Amazing.
It was not big at all. It was a tiny room.
yeah.
There was
We had a
literally
lot
so
of
many
people
people
in there.
squished in, yeah. And then Jaeger sponsored it.
Yeah,
So there was
it was
Jaeger,
good.
there was these weird Jaeger cocktails that were tasted
Really?
awful. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
But yeah, it was a good party. Really, I mean, I'd only just started at Skiddle then, so that was like 2 weeks into
it's
start,
cool.
and they were like, "All right, yeah, you're gonna meet Solardo and do a party for some guy." I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
Another day.
We'll definitely be doing them again. Definitely. As soon as we're back to normal next year, we'll be definitely back on the Solardo Ultimate Christmas Party vibe.
Yeah, well, we'll help you.
Yes, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, our Skiddle customers love a bit of Solardo, don't they?
Just?
Yeah, definitely. So if we've got like a bit of a running question that we're going to do every time we do a podcast. If you could pick anywhere and anyone to go out with this weekend in a normal world, who and where would it be? Anyone, dead or alive?
I'd say a lot of politically incorrect people. So
Oh. Why?
Well, that you choose to go out with.
David Beckham. I
David
reckon.
Beckham.
Yeah.
Why?
Actually, well, Boring. I don't know who. I can't think. Who would I go out with now?
I know we've put you on the spot. It's
Yeah.
like when you put on the spot, you just forget
Everyone.
everyone's name, don't you? Ever.
I can't even remember who my idols are.
Can you remember
Beckham's
what going out was like?
Yeah, no.
It's been that
no.
long.
I'd probably go out with. Who would I go out with? I don't know. I wouldn't mind going out with like one of these sage professor guys just to get the actual real scoop on what's going on. They can tell you if we're going to be partying properly next year or not.
That's a good choice.
Interesting choice.
Where would you go with them?
Well, I don't reckon they'd be going anywhere particularly interesting.
Yeah.
I'd go down to the lab, see what they're cooking up down there.
On a night out?
No, not night out. Night out, I would go with Idris Elba's cool. I'll go out with
Oh,
him.
yeah.
good
Have you met him?
Yeah, he played back to back with him in Vegas.
Oh,
Nice.
that's sick.
I saw him at Glastonbury. He was unreal.
Yeah, he's cool. We went out the night before because we met up just because we never met each other before the set, and it was a big rave at EDC, and we just ended up getting on really well, and then went out for the night, got fully involved, and had a hangover the next day for the set.
What's it like going out with Luther, though?
Yeah.
Oh, it was mad. You know, when you're walking through casinos and stuff, everyone's like just like staring, double taking. I'm thinking, didn't know I was that popular. around here.
Looking at me.
But I realised it wasn't me.
Yeah. They recognise you from that video from back in the day. The one where you were dancing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
And I have to ask, which you probably already heard this before, but in today's news, there's a question. If you won all the money, what would you do with it?
Hookers and cocaine.
Yeah.
Needs the name of the tune.
Yeah? Okay, I just wanted to check that was the answer.
Yeah. No, that's the tune, obviously.
Yeah.
Don't edit it and then just put it on Facebook and said,
Yeah, this is what Mark from Solardo's breaking news.
I'm a happily married man. I would not be doing that. I'd be all the money in the world, spend it on going out.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd get tickets from Skiddle.
Oh,
So on brand.
We're definitely editing that. We're cutting that out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's been really good.
Yeah.
Very insightful. Good to know about your past, really. I think not often people get to hear about what actually, I don't know, what life was like for artists back in the day.
Yeah. Give us a nice excuse to chat about going out as well.
Yeah,
which is always
exactly.
welcome.
I feel like everyone wants to reminisce at the moment, and
definitely.
we've helped them a little bit.
Yep,
but yeah,
definitely.
it's been great to chat to you, and thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and we're excited to see all the videos of the tunes dropping next year that we'll be posting on Skiddle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definally. Amazing, Quality, can't
Cool.
wait.
Fab. All right, thanks so much.
Thanks, Mark.
We'll.
All right, wicked.
Thank you. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to the Going Out podcast with Skiddle. Don't forget to like, rate and subscribe wherever you hear this podcast.
Thank you.